Welcome back, everyone. This is MandoAllDay, back with another video. And in this video, we're going to be taking a look at Cy-Gor. This is from the Spawn collection, or I don't know what you want to call it. But again, this is Cy-Gor, and I was able to get this for a really good price. So you can see the price right here, and I'll show you towards the end the actual price that I paid for. But as always, we're going to be taking a look at the figure itself in terms of the articulation, sculpture, and paint, and if it's worth your purchase or not. But before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the support channel, to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So let's take a look at the box. What front of the box looks like. This side. The back. It's pretty cool. The other side. Top. Oh, this is heavy. And oh, this is very heavy. And there we go. Bottom. Alright, now let's take a look at the figure outside the box. Unfortunately for these Spawn figures, they don't come with a card, so it is what it is. I wish it did come with a card. That would be really cool, similar to the DC Multiverse. But anyways, and this particular figure does not include any accessories, but it does come with a regular stand. It just says Spawn on it. Just a regular puck. And you really don't need this because this thing is pretty darn heavy. So, let's take a look at the figure. Now, usually what I do with my figure overviews, I usually do the head, arm, upper body, lower body, and give my opinion. And the way I'm going to do it a little differently for this figure is I'm going to do the articulation of everything first and then talk about the sculpture, because this thing has... Well, you'll see, man. This thing is ridiculous. But anyways, I'll show you guys the articulation and then I'll do the details. So, head articulation. It's not really left to right, it's more like a sideways, but it's present. Up, down, there's some, not a lot, but there's some. Shoulder articulation, it does articulate, but this whole figure is, for me, is ridiculously stiff. Like, I'm afraid I'm going to break it. I don't know if my mic can pick it up, but it does articulate. It's just really, really stiff. So, it does articulate, not a whole lot, but it does. Just mine's a little stiff. You can see even moving it is pretty darn stiff. There is elbow articulation. There we go. You guys can see a little bit of that. It does articulate, just again, mine's really stiff. In terms of wrist articulation, it is present. There you go. You guys can see that. Torso articulation is not really torso, it's more of like the belly. But it does articulate, you know, here and there. Leg articulation, mine doesn't move. I don't know if it articulates or not in terms of the actual leg. Leave it in the comment section below if you have this figure, if it does articulate. Mine is not moving at all, so I don't know if it doesn't. Knees articulate, and of course ankles do articulate, but again, mine is just so stiff that it doesn't want to move or budge at all. But it does articulate. See if I can do this one. Which one was it I did earlier? So it does articulate. You guys can maybe see a little bit of that. The ankles do articulate, just mine is ridiculously stiff, and I don't want to break it, especially for the price I paid for. But so I would say this, in terms of articulation, it does have some, but it's just very stiff, so keep that in mind. Now, let's talk about this sculpture and paint. This is what I wanted to talk about, because the amount of detail is fucking ridiculous, but it's fucking cool. And this is McFarlane. This is what McFarlane does, and he does well, and it just looks fantastic. Start off with the head articulation detail. Look at that paint. The paint on his mouth, the lips, the tongue. Not the lips, but the teeth, the tongue. It's ridiculous. Just look at all of that paint. That teeth look all brown and dirty, but it looks cool. The red eyes look really, really cool. Then you got the cybernetic armor right here on his head. Really, really, really cool, and it's very defined. Just look at all of that detail. And what I like about it, it's not just a silver, like gray or silver. It's like gray with a little bit of blacks and dark gray, so it gives it that like all used up, beat up metal, if that makes any sense. You can see it right here, that paint right here, which I really, really like. And just look at that. Look at that marks right there. Just looks so detailed, and it's really indented, but that red paint. And what I like about the red paint, it's not just red, it's like a gloss red. You see that? So it really does pop. Even from a distance, it just grabs your attention. It just looks like it really got ripped up. And you feel bad for the Cy-Gor character. Again, I'm not too sure. I'm not familiar with Spawn. So I don't know if this is a villain or a hero or anti-hero. But anyways, though, but the amount of detail, it is just top notch. And again, this is just a head sculpture. Then if you look at the arm, well, let's start off with the easier arm. You can definitely feel that fur. It's really, really thick. And of course, you got that cybernetic arm and that hand. Just look at all of that detail. Just looks so cool. And then you got that blue right here. I'm assuming it's probably like for coolant or anything like that. But just look at all of the detail and that paint. And again, you can see more present on here. You got that silver, but you got that brush look to it. Looks really, really, really cool. Then you got that another pipe right here. I like how it's loose and it's gold, which looks really good and it stands out. So when you have a certain posing, certain way, it really does stand out. But just look at all of the detail. The sculpture design is just top notch. And again, this is just one forearm. Just imagine the other. And then you can see right here, the stitching, the skin ripping. And underneath it, you got that red. Unfortunately, that red is not consistent in terms of like this kind of red. So it has some blood right there. You can see that red, but it's not very glossy because there's a bit of gloss there, a little bit. But right here is just painted red. So I wish it had this kind of red right here. But nonetheless, though, this is so cool. Now, let's take a look at the back. Just look at all of the sculpture design. Tell me this look dope. Tell me, come on. This looks amazing. Just look at all of that detail, the sculpture. I don't know what this is here, but it looks so cool, man. And again, it has that silver, but all that dirtiness. Look, like a brush. I don't know how you call it. Again, I'm not a customizer, but it has like a brush. I would say brush dirty look, but it's like blacks and dark grays on there to make this really, really pop. And it just looks fantastic, man. This is what I'm talking about. This is what McFarlane does, and he does it so well because you can just see all of that detail. And now here comes the other arm. Just, oh my god. Well, just look at the shoulder piece right here. Just look at this. This is so cool. Just beefy and just aggressive looking, and it looks so, so good. I really, really dig it. And of course, just look at all this detail. See, there is some articulation, just mine's stiff. But look at all of that detail. The painted gold. It has like a little bit of gloss, not a whole lot, but when you compare with this gold with the silver, it just pops. See that? It just pops. And just look at all that detail. Look at all of that detail and tell me that don't look good. This looks fantastic, man. Fantastic. And I really, really dig it. And again, this is just a shoulder piece. Then you got here more on the forearm. Again, more of the cybernetics, all the piping. It just looks so cool, man. Like, this is one of those figures where you have to see it in person. Because when you do, you're going to be like, dude, I have to buy it. And man, I am so glad I was able to get one. This is the only one they had at the store. And the funny thing is, I actually went to the store just to go look around, kill some time. When I made the video, and I'll post a link to the video, but when I made a video of like showing the sales on Amazon, I said, you know, let me go to my local Amazon, see what they have, because everyone's talking about Amazon has the best deals. I saw this one, asked the guy, hey, how much are you guys selling it for? And he's like, well, 50% off. I'm like, 50% off? He's like, yep. And I had to take it, man. I'll show you guys what I paid for this figure, but just look at all of that detail, man. It's just fantastic, dude. This is so cool. Now, let's take a look at the legs. Legs, same thing here. Has that armor look here. Also present on the legs. Really, really cool. You can definitely see that brush kind of look to it right there. See that? That looks so cool, man. And his feet have that same kind of design on there. It looks really, really cool. That looks so, so good. Just look at that paint. The sculpture design. Stuff like this is what makes McFarlane stand out. And again, for the price that you paid for, you can see more of that stitching right here on as well too. But there's more fur in the back, and you can see more detail on the legs. Look at that. And I like how it's different colors. So it's not the same kind of like copy and paste. It's actually a different color. So you got a little bit of like that brush black here, and there's a little bit less here on this side. See that? Which I like it. Again, it makes it stand out. It's not like symmetrical. But to me, overall, if you were to ask me, Mondo, would I recommend it? Absolutely, man. This is one of those things where you have to see it in person. And when you do, the first reaction you're gonna say is, "Holy shit, it's a lot of detail." But when you take it out the box and you really look at it, like I just did right now, dude, you appreciate the sculpture and paint and the work they did. And to me, if you were to ask me, is it worth the purchase price? fuck yeah, thumbs up for me. Again, for the price of, I believe the retail price like $50. For $50, you're getting a lot of figure, a lot of detail, and there's some weight to this figure. As I mentioned, I'm not familiar with Spawn. I don't really collect a lot of Spawn. I do have some Spawn, like I think one Spawn figure. Obviously this one and the, what's the other one called? The Violator, which I ordered on Amazon due to the Black Friday. But anyway, like I was saying, I don't have a lot of Spawn figures. I can't really compare. Don't know much about this character, but for the price I paid for, dude, this is such an amazing figure. So like I said, for regular price, retail purchase, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, the retail purchase is $50. So for $50, thumbs up for me, man. So much detail. The paint's good. The only thing I'm kind of worried is the articulation, but it could be just my figure because it's really, really stiff and I don't want to break it. So apart from that, though, thumbs up for me for this figure. Fantastic. Fantastic figure, man. Now, as I mentioned, did I pay the $50? Or I think Amazon, GameStop is selling it for, let me see. This is the price it had. $51.99. Alright? Is that what I paid for? Hell no. I'll show you what I paid for. But for the price that I paid for, is, ready for this? Look at that right there. Spawn, Cy-Gor. Look at the date, 11/27/2022. Look at that. Cy-Gor, $21. $21. $21 in total attacks for this Mega Fig. Fuck yeah, I got a good deal. I'm sorry, I'm going to rub it in. I got a really good deal, and I'm sure all of you are jealous. I'm just kidding. I'm just, fucking around. But anyways, like I was saying, for this price, so for that pay for $21, dude, absolutely fantastic deal. And like I said, retail price, $50, thumbs up. For the price that I paid for of $21, fuck you. That's a steal, man. That's a fuck you amazing deal. Fuck you in terms of you are getting jealous of me because I paid for such a low price for such a fantastic figure, man. So, to me, I really like this figure. I'm not familiar with the character. Usually in the background, I'm trying to add more art to the characters, but I don't have any Spawn art, so I kind of brought in those art. But regardless, so, really cool figure. I like it. Thumbs up for me. Now we'll do a comparison to Cy-Gor, and we have Solomon Grundy from the Arkham City or Asylum City with the figure wave, so you can see the height comparison and the massive. This thing is huge and thick, man. Not huge, but it's very, very thick, man. Really cool figure. And let's do a little bit of a face-off here, and just look at that gold, man. You guys can see the height difference. You guys can see that, and again, it's a little bit taller, not a whole lot. But just look at the arm, the detail, the sculpture, and just the thickness of this character. Really, really cool, man. I like this stuff. Here we have Frankenstein, the Mega Fig, and of course Cy-Gor. So you guys can see the difference in terms of the height. He's leaning a little bit down. Let me see if I can kind of stand him up a little bit. If I can. I don't know if I can or can't. Yeah, he's being a little punk right now, but you guys can see the height difference. And let's do a little face-off here. We have Cy-Gor and, of course, Frankenstein. And Frankenstein is taller, not a whole lot. And even though he's leaning a little forward, he's still taller, though, but not a whole lot, though. But again, you guys can see the comparison sake of the amount of detail and just the thickness of this character. Here we have Ghostmaker and, of course, Cy-Gor. You can really see how small this character is. It's pretty cool, man. I like seeing stuff like this. This is really, really funny. So, you guys can see it's a lot shorter. And we'll do a little face-off here. It's not even a fair face-off, but here we have Ghostmaker versus Cy-Gor. I'm sorry, Ghostmaker, but you're probably not going to last a long time fighting Cy-Gor. But nonetheless, though, really cool comparison. Now here we have a comparison for Cy-Gor. We have Robin from the DC Future State, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Could be wrong, though. But here you have Robin and for Future State, which I think it is, or no, Infinite Frontier, that's what it is. Robin and, of course, Cy-Gor. You could see the height comparison. It's not even funny, man. This thing is massive. Then again, Damien, or this particular Robin, is very, very short. But you guys can see the difference in height. Really, really tiny. It's almost up to his chest, just for comparison's sake. So, there you go. This wouldn't be a good comparison without comparing the Joker Titan. This is the Joker Titan Mega Fig from McFarlane, and of course Cy-Gor. And you can see the height difference, but also the thickness of this character. So, this figure. So, there you go. You guys can see it. Even though he's shorter, but he's a lot thicker. So, keep that in mind. And we'll do a little bit of a face-off here, which I think would be a really good fight. You got Cy-Gor versus Joker Titan. There you have Joker Titan basically telling him, hey, what's up? Let's go at it. So, again, Joker Titan is still the king of the heightness. He's still the king of the DC Multiverse Mega Fig, in my opinion, though. But regardless, though, we have Joker Titan and Cy-Gor. And like I said, you can really see the difference. He's shorter, Cy-Gor's shorter, but there's a lot of thickness to it, and it's a lot of detail in this Mega Fig. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with this figure? Do you want to purchase this figure? Or did you already purchase this figure? Leave it in the comment section below. As always, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the support channel to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So it includes an overview of Cy-Gor from the Spawn wave. I don't know if they have how they calculate or how they categorize it, but on to the next one.